I'm Ebony Caldwell with REI Investment Society, and we are going to review this form that is a form that is never really talked about. But this has to protect your interests also and make sure you stay in a good relationship with your bird dog. And this is a bird dog agreement. Now, before we even start about this bird dog agreement and how we use it, as a recap, what is a bird dog in real estate? It's not a bird, it's not a dog, but the term bird dog, what does it mean? Well, a bird dog in real estate is basically used by wholesalers or investors. This is the individual who has their eyes and ears out, listening, looking out for everything within your business to help you grow your business. This is that basically that salesperson, right? And when I say salesperson, this is the person that's going out there looking for the type of properties that you ask for. They're looking for the properties that appear to be distressed. The grass hasn't been cut. Have utility shut-off signs on the doors. They're looking for that. This is the person that's out there making friends with the utility workers, with the postal workers, who will be able to tell them which properties are vacant or who might have just went through a divorce. So this is your person that you need in your circle, that you need to have and must have on your team, especially if you're virtually wholesaling. Why is that? Because again, if you're virtually wholesaling and you're trying to pick up 2 markets or 3 markets or 5 markets, you need a bird dog in every single market. And if you can get 2 or 3, get 2 or 3. The more bird dogs you have, the better. The one benefit with the bird dogs also is if you choose to put bandit signs out, your bird dog is the one that's going to put out all those signs. You can have them to put them out. You don't, there's 2 different ways about it. You can have the signs created already with your information on there, let them put it out. Or you can turn around and pay them just a little money for it. Or the fact is that if you have someone else put them out, whether it's a teenager who's looking for a summer job, it really doesn't matter, and you get all of those phone calls in, you need somebody to go see these properties. So who's going to go see these properties if you're in LA? If you're in LA and a property in the target market that you was looking for was in Phoenix, Arizona, who's going to look at that property for you? Are you going to actually get out on the plane to fly to see the property, especially if you get a lot of phone calls? Absolutely not. It's a waste of time unless you got properties that you want to visit in that area that you already are in the process of rehabbing. So with that being said, your bird dog is your eyes and ears. That's the one that help you bring these deals together, believe it or not. Now, you probably, think, okay, well, that's, why not? Why should I really trust them? Why a bird dog? Why would they want to be a wholesaler? Here's the equivalency to that. Look at a bird dog, no difference, and it's not being a negative factor. This is a fact, and I can use it in 2 different scenarios. You have that server at that restaurant who's really, really good with customer service, and you're thinking, why are you working at this restaurant making minimum wages and tips when you can be an account executive somewhere? Or you have what they call in New York or in Chicago peddlers, people that's on the street selling goods. And you have a lot of these people that make money from this, and a lot of them are not homeless or bums as people think. You have some that actually dress up, get up. This is a job for them, and they sell goods on the street. So you ask, well, if they have the nerve to actually go out and sell goods on the streets, why can't they just be a wholesaler and do this themselves? The question is, what makes a person happy? And everybody have their calling. Everybody have a job that they want to do that's for them. A lot of bird dogs are not trying to be wholesalers. They don't want to be wholesalers. They want to do what they do. They want to feel like they the big man in charge or they the big lady in charge. That brings people together. They are the ones that ultimately, in the end, especially if you get a lot of deals, that will help you run your business and make your life so much easier. So the one thing I will say before I even get started, do not under any circumstances devalue your bird dog. Don't underestimate what their worth is. Their worth is more valuable than you think. Look at it this way. In this agreement, I'm going to show you where you'll put their fee at. But when you turn around and look at the fee that you're going to put on there, or that I'm going to put on here, which is $1,000, ask yourself, if you know you're making $10,000 on a deal, was it worth it? So if your bird dog brought you 10 deals, you'd have made $100,000. Technically, you'd have made $90,000 because you're paying them $10,000. So ask yourself, was it worth it? And if you bonus them, that's another great thing too. So your bird dog can work on both sides. Your bird dog can work on the side of that they're bringing you distressed homeowners, they're bringing you distressed properties, or they're bringing you buyers. So they can bring you sellers and buyers. And how are they getting buyers? The same way that you do. It's not about you training them and teaching them how to go and get buyers, because no, you don't want nobody to take your business. But bird dogs can also be like that person that's just like that social media fanatic who loves social media, or who's that affiliate who loves selling, bringing people together, introducing a person to a product, and that person gets paid for that. So your bird dog is going to do their own marketing, their own footwork. They're going to do everything. But the ultimate goal is, if you pay them right, they're going to keep working for you and keep bringing you good deals. So I will say this, when I pay my bird dogs, depending upon the deals, I do pay them at minimum, and I'm emphasizing at minimum $1,000. My threshold is basically $5,000 to $10,000. I pay them $1,000, and depending upon how fast it closes, I do give them an extra bonus of $500 for just that one deal. Now, at minimum, the least you're going to make on a deal is $5,000, and that's just being totally realistic. The truth of the matter is, every single deal I've ever done, I've made at minimum $10,000, all the way to $55,000 in the past. And I know people that has made $100,000 wholesaling deals. So it's really, how much is your deal worth, but most importantly, how much do you value your bird dog? Because that's the person who's going to bring you consistent deals. Now, let's dig deep into this bird dog agreement. This agreement is made effective of, I'm just throwing a date out there, January 1st, 2017, by and between Ebony Caldwell, the buyer. Here's why I'm the buyer right now. I'm the buyer right now because the bird dog has brought me a property from a motivated seller who wants to sell this property to me. So they are acting now as the bird dog for this particular property. So it's Ebony Caldwell of REI Investment Society and John Doe of Bird Dog Watch Consultants, okay? You always want to make sure, as I indicated before, you are incorporated. So as a wholesaler, please incorporate your business within this 30 days as soon as possible of watching this. Your bird dog, they don't have to be incorporated, but you would prefer them to be incorporated because it makes life easier for you when it comes to accounting time. In this agreement, the parties who are contracting to receive services shall be referred to as the seller or the buyer. So remember, I'm the buyer for this one because they bought me the property, okay? And the party who will be providing the services shall be referred to as the consultant. They are right here, the consultant, John Doe of Bird Dog Watch Consulting Services. The seller and or buyer desire to have services provided by the consultant. Therefore, the parties agree as follows. The description of the services beginning on January 1st, 2017 The consultant will provide the following services, collectively services: a real estate locator referral and contact service. Remember, that is it. It's already outlined here for you. You don't really have to change anything. Performances of the services. The consultant shall determine the manner in which the services are to be performed and the specific hours to be worked by the consultant. The seller and or buyer will rely on the consultant to work as many hours as may be reasonable necessary to fulfill the consultant's obligations under this agreement. Payment. The seller through the buyer will pay a locator referral and or contact fee to the consultant for the services equivalent to, again, $1,000 or percentage of the proceeds derived from the sale and or purchase of the property located, or a flat fee. Now, what I've done is once I've passed that threshold of $10,000, I just pay them a percentage, 5%, because I know I'm getting ready to get paid. If I know I'm getting, $35,000, I would be real petty to just give them $1,000, and I know if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be getting that $35,000. So you can kind of continue to read up on here. Upon termination of this agreement, payments under this paragraph shall cease, provided, however, that the consultant should be entitled to payments for periods of partial periods that occur prior to the date of termination. And again, maybe they went behind your back and did something. They've done something illegally that could affect your business. And, they're not going to get paid, basically, under this contract if for whatever reason this contract is terminated prior to this deal closing. But you don't want to, find a reason to terminate them for no reason. So it really needs to be something legitimate. Terms of the termination. This agreement shall terminate automatically upon completion of the consultation of the services required by this agreement. Remember, every single property should have a different bird dog agreement. So for every single bird dog that you have, for every deal that they bring you, whether it's the distressed property or an end buyer, please make sure you have a separate agreement. This agreement kind of serves as their little commission form. So even though you may have, let's say, an independent contract for them, you still want to have this in conjunction with every single payout for every single deal. Relationships of the parties. Employees. This is important. Employees. The consultant's employees, if any, who perform services for the seller and or buyer under this agreement shall also be bound by the provisions of this agreement. At the request of either the seller and the buyer, the consultant shall provide adequate evidence that such persons are the consultant's employees. This just basically means you're saying they can employ somebody all they want to. You don't care. However, that same person is getting paid under the same agreement by them. Okay? Confidentiality. Right here, the business recognizes that the consultant has and will have the following information: prices, costs, future plans, business affairs, and other proprietary information which are valuable. In consideration for the disclosure of this information, the consultant agrees that the consultant will not at any time or any manner, either directly or indirectly, use any information for the consultant's own benefit or divulge, disclose, or communicate in any manner and information to any third party without the buyer's consent. Unauthorized disclosure of information. Confidentiality after termination. Basically, they should not be releasing any information. So if the seller and or buyer, again, I'm the buyer for this one, right? Because I'm buying that distressed property. I'm going to go ahead and put my name here, the address of the property, and then print. For the consultant, same exact thing, the consultant's name, the address of that property, and go ahead and print. Date, we're done with this. Now, this is just a lot of warranties information in here. Same thing, applicable by law. This agreement should be governed by the law. Parties receiving the services. Again, I'm the buyer. And here is by Ebony Caldwell. Once again, my name, sign, my phone number. Party that is giving the services, which is going to be the consultant, all right here. Now, I'm kind of going to fast forward or rewind and kind of go back to this original agreement. Now, if we go back up here for today's date, January 1st, 2017 by in between Ebony Caldwell Hewitt as seller, because we did buyer. As the seller, what happens is the seller, I'm now the seller. My bird dog just brought me an investor. They did their own marketing, they did their own due diligence, and they found me an investor. So now I am the seller on this property. I still had the same exact name, Ebony Caldwell of REI Investment Society. I still have that information right here. Their information is going to stay the same. The only difference is I'm the seller now. Okay. So every place that we originally saw where it was buyer, like the seller through the buyer, I am now the seller for this particular property. So I hope this was good information for you. Make sure that you continue to utilize this form. Watch this video as many times as possible to kind of familiarize yourself with it. But having a bird dog form agreement is extremely important. And as I emphasize, and I'm going to emphasize again, Raham is a seller, as I'm going to emphasize one more time, under no circumstances should you ever devalue your bird dog. Pay your bird dog what they worth, and they are very valuable. Your bird dog is the one that's going to make you a lot of money in the end. They're going to help you be a true virtual wholesaler. Make sure you pay them. Make sure you build your relationship with them. That bird dog is going to be your person that has their eyes and ears out there and a foot on the ground. If you don't have a personal assistant, if you don't have a partner, if you don't have a real estate agent to go see these properties, which you don't want a real estate agent to see these properties unless it's a property on the MLS that they found you. But if it's an off-market deal and you don't have a partner, your bird dog is going to be your right-hand man or your right-hand girl. So take care of them. Use this form for every single property. And this is also the form that's, you're going to have at the closing, because you're going to make sure you pay your people right. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me any questions, and I will definitely answer them to the best of my ability. Again, I'm signing out. Good luck wholesaling, and congratulations on knowing you're going to close your first deal within 30 days, or at least get your first deal within 30 days. I'm Ebony Caldwell with REI Investment, and I am signing off. Goodbye.